Sup everybody, it's your boy Tacho here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. So if we head over to the summoning tab today, we have this brand new double special heroes banner. Now these banners are always pretty hype, because they feature some of the crazier heroes from the seasonal banners, particularly the duo heroes, and they also feature them at a 6% focus rate, with no pity breakers in between. So if you're interested in trying to pick up copies of any of the seasonal heroes, it's always a better idea for you to wait for this banner to roll around before trying to pick them up, maybe even go for merges. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and discuss this banner, and I'm going to give you my opinions on each of the focus colors, whether or not it's a good idea to snipe on this banner, and whether or not you may want to just put your orbs somewhere else. So we're going to start by taking a look at the focuses for each color. Now, I love this feature that they added here, the hero check, because you can just easily go ahead and tap that and pick whichever hero you want and take a look at what skills they come with. So on the red side of this banner, we have the New Year Anna, and we have the Spring Idunn. So as you guys know, Spring Idunn is one of my most wanted heroes ever. I really regret not going in for her duo skill the first time around when she was out, because, I mean, being able to negate effective against armor and effective against dragons is really going to help out your armor and dragon units if you like to bait with them. It's like effective against armor and effective against dragon are the two most common type effective damage that we see in this game, and it's like every other banner we get, it feels like there has to be at least one or two units that has effective against armor or effective against dragon. That's just how it is. Insys just really hates dragons and armors, so being able to just pop the duo skill with this Idunn is really going to help out if you like to bait with those units. Now, should you be sniping red to pick up copies of Idunn? Actually, I don't think so. I mean, Idunn is obviously going to be a really good summon, even if you just get one copy of her to use the duo skill to help support your other armored units, and dragons, of course. But the other focus unit, Anna, I don't really think she's all that worth it to summon. She does have a pretty high res stat and decent attack and speed. I believe she's got 34 attack and then 40 speed. And her weapon, Fortune Bow, it's like sort of like Temari, I guess I would compare it to, where she's inflicting a double stat sabotage effect on foes that have less res than her. So you could use this as a debuff option, I guess. I wouldn't really recommend it though. Really, the only good fodder skill this Anna comes with is Rally Defense and Res Plus, which is very good for arena scoring. So if you wanted to pass this out to some of your arena units, this would definitely help them score a lot better. Otherwise though, she doesn't really offer anything too interesting in terms of her passive A through C skills or her weapon. So unfortunately for Spring Idunn, I would not recommend summoning red on this banner, just because Anna really holds back that color. Okay, next up we have blue. So we've got the Valentine Rudolph, and we have the Bunny Est. So we take a look at Bunny Est. Her attack is nuts, right? This Est has a lot of power behind her. And Eagle's Egg is going to passively grant her +5 to all stats and nullify any of her stat penalties. So you can get a lot of damage out of this Est. She also comes with Fury 4. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Which ranged flyer does this remind you of? Where they're coming with Fury 4 and their weapon is granting +5 to all stats if they're within 2 spaces of an ally. Alright, if you guessed Claude, then congratulations, because Claude pretty much does the exact same thing as this Est. There are, of course, some subtle differences between them, though. But in terms of damage output, Est is really going to outshine Claude in that regard. But as far as sustain and overall versatility, I think it's not even close. Claude is just going to run circles around this Est. The 50% heal that he gets from his weapon allows him to pull off a bait roll if you wanted him to, if you gave him close foil and IO shield. But he can also player phase very effectively as well. And of course he comes with the legendary Attack and Speed Rhine 3, which is going to be one of the best type of fodder skills you can give to these flying units moving forward. So I do think you'd probably be better off summoning on the Brave Heroes banner right now, especially if you haven't done all 4 of the Sparkings yet. It's probably just a better deal to go in on that banner and pull for Claude than it would be to pull for this Est, even though they do have some differences, and Est does try to go for more power and one-shots. I think Claude's versatility and superior fodder are just going to outweigh her. And as for Rudolph, he doesn't really come with much for fodder either. He has Special Fighter 3 and a dual threaten skill. And in terms of his weapon, he's basically a Blue Lance version of Legendary Edelgard. I guess this guy came out first, so maybe Edelgard is a axe version of this guy. But Edelgard is just way better. Aimer does effectively the same thing as Thornlance, and then Edelgard also has Raging Storm for the triple Gale Force thing. So I would totally just recommend going for Edelgard, or possibly even Brave Edelgard too if you would rather just bait. I mean, Brave Edelgard with her 80% damage reduction and caveman levels of attack, it definitely outshines any of the things that Rudolph does. Once again, despite them having a color difference. So it's probably better to summon for one of the other Edelgards. And if you wanted a good Blue Lance unit, I think the focus right now is probably on Dimitri. Maybe even female Chris or the Apotheosis Anna instead. As you guys know, infantry units just live a much easier life in this game because there's really only one weapon that does effective damage on them, and that is the Poison Dagger, which is really weak and it doesn't have a refine yet. So I would not recommend summoning on blue on this banner. Okay, next up we have green, and we've got the duo Alm, and we've got the lovely, adorable Spring Fear here. If you ask me, this is the cutest unit in the entire game. I loved her hopping around in the paralog and just having a good old time. But her weapon is really what sells her. The Bun Bun Baton gives her -1 cooldown, which is very good if you want to run her as a Gale Force option. It also has effective against armor and null follow-up. So you'd be free to run something like Wind Sweep on her if you wanted her to get like a Fire Sweep effect and still be able to double attack. Or you could run like damaging specials on her instead of Gale Force and go for some big damage numbers. This Sphere is a very versatile unit and definitely a unit you may want to go ahead and pick up. For fodder, she's also got Air Orders 3 and Harsh Command Plus, 2 pretty good skills. Attack and Speed Solo 3 as well, even though it's been power crept slightly by the level 4 version. I wouldn't even say that's the biggest deal because it's only 1 point difference. So you'd be free to still run Attack and Speed Solo 3 quite effectively if you gave it to one of your staff units. So this Sphere overall is a very good summon, and the same can be said of course about Duo Alm. The duo skill this guy has is going to recover 30 HP to allies that are within the 5x5 space, which is a really wide area of effect actually. I've used this guy quite a bit from my friends list in modes like Grand Conquests and Rival Domains. And this duo skill is actually super good in modes like that, where they have the giant maps, and you're deploying 8 units at once. So really good stuff there. It also neutralizes any penalties on your units and gives them attack and speed up 6. So a really solid duo skill. And as for fodder, this guy's also got lull, attack and speed level 3, as well as bonus doubler 3. I feel like bonus doubler is a little bit overrated at this point though. It's just way too easy to inflict debuffs now, so bonus doubler probably not the best call for the A slot anymore. But lull, attack and speed 3 is still super good, and definitely an amazing skill to inherit if you wanted to fodder off this Alm. So overall thoughts on green is that it's pretty much the best color on this banner, and if you want to snipe on green to pick up some copies of Alm and Fear, I think that's actually probably your best bet. And finally, we have Colorless, where we've got the Valentine's Fae, who is an amazing unit. Budding Bow is super nasty because it's a light version of Sturdy Impact, giving her attack and defense +4 and negating the foe's follow-up. And if you were to put this on an armored unit or a cavalry unit, it's pretty bonkers because they're not allowed to have impact skills anyway. So for example, let's say you had a Cavline team in Aether Raid's defense, and you gave Budding Bow to, I don't know, maybe Brave Lynn or Halloween Rolf or Bridal Luis or one of those units. Budding Bow with the impact effect is going to be pretty nasty in there. So definitely something to consider. Also, this Fae is just decked out completely right out of the box with the best possible skills. Death Blow 4, Bold Fighter 3, and Armor March 3. You give her the Brave Bow Plus, and then all of a sudden you have yourself a God tier unit for clearing abyssal content and chain challenges and stuff like that. So just immediately out of the box, this Fae is ridiculous. And you don't even have to play her offensively either. You could give her the Spendthrift Bow and then give her like Special Fighter and things like that and run her defensively. So it's nuts. This unit is very versatile and one of the few armored units I would say that still has a ton of relevance in the meta even today. It's pretty much because inheritable bows are just really good. Unfortunately for her though, she's accompanied by this guy here. This is Bruno, and he's probably the worst unit on the entire banner. Having attack and defense push level 3 at this point in the game is just completely embarrassing. So you really don't want to summon this guy as a 5-star. He has Dazzling Staff, but I mean, big deal. If you want that, you just sacrifice literally any other staff unit that came out in the past 2 years. There's also a copy of this guy in the compile shop, as well as the Picnic Jenny. And both of these units have Dazzling Staff or Wrathful Staff that you can pick up to inherit on one of your staff units. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, because all the staffs can be refined to have either Dazzling Staff or Wrathful Staff anyway. So I can't recommend in good conscience to anyone summoning for Bruno, unless he's your favorite character and you really just want to get him merged up. In which case, of course, definitely go for it. So that wraps us up for this banner and all the colors. Once again, I think green is by far the best color. Maybe followed by red and colorless, which I would say are tied for the main units that they have. And then blue is definitely in last place. So do I recommend summoning on this banner? Honestly, probably not. You're better off just keep on summoning on the Brave banner here if you haven't already done all 4 of the Sparkings. You're just getting a way better deal for your orbs on this one. There are focus breakers on this banner though, but the focus units are just really good, and being able to spark whichever one you want after 40 summons is going to prevent any shafting from going on. So you are immune to some bad luck, at least on this banner. And another thing is that we have the legendary banner coming up probably in just a couple of days. So who knows how good the next legendary hero is going to be. You may want to end up summoning for them. So I can't recommend anybody summon on this banner. Even if you want to, at least just wait until we see the trailer for the legendary banner, because this one is going to be up for 2 weeks. And we should have the trailer for the legendary banner within the next, like, 2 or 3 days or so. So at least wait to see the trailer before deciding what you want to do with your orbs. But that's going to wrap us up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown of this banner and also the bit of advice on what you should do with your orbs. So take care, fellas. This is Tacho signing out. Thanks so much for watching the video. And I will catch you guys again on the flip side.